Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. It helps me and lets me know to make more videos like this. This is one of my favorite watches. It's the Omega Aqua Terra with the 8900 movement, the current version of the Aqua Terra. 41mm case, 20mm lugs. It's a beautiful watch, which I think is an opinion that seems to be nearly universal, but I wanted to go over what I thought were the positives and negatives about this watch, because there's no watch that's perfect. There's a lot of reviews that overly emphasize only the positive aspects of a watch, a lot of salesmanship going on out there, and I just wanted to give my fair review of what I liked and didn't like about this watch. So I'll go quickly through the pros. It's very well made. Crystal is absolutely beautiful. It's almost like it's not there. The movements on these and the all the other Omega automatics currently are absolutely beautiful. This is a very symmetrically designed watch. The updates from the 8500 really improved the symmetry, so if that's something that matters to you, this is just about the most symmetrical design you're going to find. I also like that they reduced the text on the dial on this version. The date window at 6 o'clock has been widely praised, and I also like the fact that it's somewhat large and easier to read. The lug-to-lug distance on the 8900 is pretty short considering the size of the watch, and that definitely makes it more comfortable. The bracelet is extremely comfortable, and the clasp on the underside of the bracelet has no protrusions or anything, so it lies very flat against the bottom of the wrist, making it very comfortable. So as for some cons, they are listed here on the right, but number one, the bracelet has no micro adjust, which I think is really not acceptable for a watch of this caliber and this price range. The butterfly clasp, I think, is not the ideal way to open and close this bracelet, and I think a single folding clasp such as on a Seamaster Pro, maybe not as robust to match with the watch. I think that would work better than a butterfly. The lugs are stumpy looking, for lack of a better word, on the 8900. That's to me a significant change they made as compared with its predecessor. I barely see that mentioned on reviews, but when you have the two watches side by side like I've done on a prior video, the difference is very apparent, and I'm not a fan. I think the long lugs of the 8500 are one of its most beautiful features. And another design element, which I'm not a great fan of, is the crown on the Aqua Terra 8900. It is somewhat bulbous shaped. It's widens as it moves away from the watch, and I just don't find that it really matches any other design element on this watch. It definitely looks out of place to me. Another critique I have of this watch, and I share this with other modern Seamasters like the SMPC, there are tons of sharp edges to be found on the bracelet, on the watch, and it almost feels like it's missing the last level of finishing to sort of eliminate the very, very sharp edges. You can find them all over the watch, and it's just not something that I look at too favorably. Another critique I have is the bracelet on this version is quite flattened, meaning they've really removed any contour from the bracelet, and it doesn't look bad, but I just don't like how it feels in the hand. I like the more sculpted look that the prior Aqua Terras had on their bracelets. Part of me also thinks that might have been a move to lower production costs. By no means a engineer or watch designer, but it just seems that the decision to go with this super flat profile simplifies the manufacture of the bracelet, and if that's the rationale behind it, then that is unfortunate, because I think they took a step back with that change. Another critique of this watch is that it's a little bit thick. It's not tremendously so. I have measured it in a prior video, but I think it's on the verge of being too thick, and Omega should be really considering trying to reduce the thickness of the watches rather than constantly increasing that. And lastly, the case back on this watch, you need a proprietary tool to open, and not that that's something people will be doing a lot, but I just feel it's an unnecessary addition to the watch. The prior case back on the 8500 series didn't have that feature, and there was really no need to add it. So those are my thoughts on pros and cons of this watch. Overall, it is a beautiful, very well made watch, and given the prices some competing watches of a more well-known brand are going for, I definitely think this watch does still present a very good value. I do think, though, that it's good to look at the parts that are not that great and present a fair picture of what you're getting with this watch. Hope you found this helpful, and if you have any comments or questions about the Aqua Terra, the 8900, or any other model, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thanks a lot.